Hello and welcome back to Pride of All Europe TV. Nice little win down at QPR yesterday. Got to be happy with a clean sheet, got to be happy with 3 points. But taking a look at what was the first half of the game, again it was very slow and we lacked ideas. Van Gaal opted for 3 at the back. Rojo was brought into the side after a long absence. And if we're honest, you know, we say it every week, it doesn't really work with 3 at the back. Now, although we've beaten a couple of sides playing that system, there's clearly a fundamental problem with the way Van Gaal actually sets up. Obviously, you know, he puts Rooney in midfield, who's a striker. He puts Di Maria up front, who's a midfielder or a winger, should I say. And the balance isn't quite right. Now, Di Maria looks completely ineffective up front. I don't mind Rooney in midfield, but I still don't think that's going to be his long-term position or his preferred position. And something that always baffles me as well is with 3 at the back, Van Gaal likes one of his centre-halves to bring the ball out and be a bit of a playmaker. Now, it's all well and good when you've got Michael Carrick playing centre-half who can bring it 30 yards forward and pick out a pass, or even back in the day when it was Rio Ferdinand, or even further back, Gary Pallister. They would bring the ball out of defence, a bit like an anchor man in midfield, and, you know, dictate play. But when your centre halves are Johnny Evans, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, they're bringing the ball 30 yards forward. They haven't got the vision to pick out a pass, so they're turning around and either passing it sideways or just passing it backwards again. I think everyone's cottoned on to this now. They know when it's one of them 3 on the ball, the opposition are saying, well, you know, let Johnny Evans run the ball out of defence. He ain't going to do nothing with it. He's only going to turn around and pass it backwards anyway. And I think teams have realised that now, and I think QPR were doing that to us in the first half yesterday. But the fundamental is Van Gaal obviously realised his mistake. Now, people say he made a tactical change due to an injury. It could well be that, but he could have well stayed with 3 at the back. But he did realise it wasn't working. He went to a back 4, and the 2 boys he brought on as subs scored the goals, and we went on to win the game. So, for everybody that was criticising the tactics and the formation and the way we were playing in the first half, you've got to hold your hands up and say the manager's changes won us the game yesterday. So you've got to take your hat off to him for that. When Di Maria was moved back into midfield, he was so much more effective. He was picking up the ball deep and running at the players. He was, you know, his skill was taking him away from players. He had 2 or 3 on him at a time, which was creating space everywhere else. Di Maria has to play a bit deeper than, you know, he can't play up front. He needs to play a bit deeper, whether it's in a centre of midfield or wide. It doesn't matter. That's where he's most effective. Juan Mata he didn't really do much in the first half. He didn't do much wrong, but he just didn't impact the game at all. Again, it's a running theme, not only in these videos, but people talk about it online all the time. One of the Pride of All Europe writers, Richard Can, is quite hot on this topic, and it's that at home, Juan Mata is very, very, very dominant. He scores goals, he assists goals, he gets on the ball, but away from home, he may as well not be on the pitch. And, you know, that sort of, it struck me yesterday that was the case again. So when he was removed for Fellaini, the game changed. Fellaini come on, he's got a bit of muscle, as we all know. He put his foot in. He was very good on the ball as well. His distribution was good, and he scored a very, very, you know, a very good goal. He took it well, and it came at a key time in the match because we was looking like we were never going to score. Talk about Falcao. He's the man at the moment. Everyone's discussing him. There was a story which I believe was on the Guardian yesterday saying United still want him permanently, but they're not willing to pay the 45 million. Now, if we could negotiate a better price for him, that's great. You always want to save a bit of money no matter what you're doing. I don't think Monaco or Falcao's agent Mendes will want to lower the fee. I think they believe they'll find a buyer elsewhere who will pay that money. Hopefully it's not somebody too close to home either, because that would just be our bad luck. But as for yesterday, I think Falcao, his movement was excellent, his positioning was good, his work rate was great. It's just bad luck for him that he's found Rob Green having a, you know, he had a weldy yesterday. Now that's Rob Green, who we all know is absolutely horrific in goal. He let down England at World Cups, he's let down England in World Cup qualifying. He's been awful over the years, and all of a sudden, you know, he's turned into David De Gea for the day. You know, he's pulling stops out like Schmeichel used to and Van der Sar. So I don't know what's going on, but that's just Falcao's bad luck. But for me, I think Falcao yesterday, I think even without scoring, that was his best game for us yesterday. He looked sharp, he looked You know, he looked confident. It's just a shame that Rob Green played really well. And as for that miss, when it went across the face of the goal, it wasn't a miss. The defender got a touch on that. Everyone can see that. They're not stupid. Falcao couldn't predict that the defender was going to knock it behind him, so that wasn't a miss. That was good defensive play. Next up, we've got Cambridge away in the Cup. It's going to be another strange encounter where we're playing a team a good few divisions below us. So what do? Do we put out the superstars, or do we give a few of the kids a go? If it was me, I would definitely keep Falcao in the side. You can't drop him again. He needs to run a games. He needs to get his confidence up. If he bags a goal, he'll go on to get a few more. I think we're going to beat Cambridge, if we're honest. We will have too much for them, but these FA Cup ties are always a bit tricky. So yeah, I mean, my overview for yesterday is I'm very happy. I predicted a 3-0 win. It was actually 2-0, but it could have been 3. De Gea pulled off a couple of good stops, but I never felt completely under the cosh. They were both, they were both efforts from distance. QPR did have they had a few efforts on goal, but nothing where you thought they should have really scored. So I'm very happy with yesterday's outcome. I've got to say, a shout out to Daley Blind. Started the game as left wing back, went to left back. Really, really good player, very versatile. He's just good in every position. He's a proper 7. He's never going to be a match winner, but he's never going to put in a bad show. So Daley Blind was excellent yesterday. But the man of the match for me was Marcos Rojo. I feel that he's just a really top centre half. I think he's our best centre half already. He was playing well before the injury, and yesterday he's come back. Fair enough, there was an error with Carrick where they both went for the ball, none of them got it. But away from that, Charlie Austin and Bobby Zamora, not world-class strikers, but they put themselves about. They like a fight, they like a barge, and Rojo was up for that the whole game. He's got a bit of aggression about him. He's got a bit of pace. He loves the tackle. His distribution's good. He does look a promising centre half in comparison to what we've got. Rojo's the man at the moment. So for me, he was man of the match yesterday. So yeah, I'm happy today. Clean sheet, 3 points. Cambridge at home in the FA Cup next week. Leicester at home in the Premier League week after. All positive here. If you want to talk to me, I'm on Twitter. It's at Nathon W. That's NATHONW. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and keep in touch. Lovely. See you soon.